knees replaced, and this mold in his lungs that they say all of the stagehands who work in the ceilings and walls of Broadway theaters get. But hey, at least he has union health insurance. Those few remaining union jobs, like the one he had, are disappearing. Union work and decently paid work in general has been disappearing since the 1980s, when they closed all of the factories in the Midwest and Ronald Reagan fired all of the air traffic controllers. People my age are expected to embrace the gig economy, which is serfdom. You never get a raise, you never get a bonus, you don't get paid days off, you don't get a pension. All of those things that workers in previous generations fought for, those are gone. How are we expected to find a future for ourselves? But as our labor rights and our collective bargaining power have faded away to become a thing of the past, a new, digital frontier has emerged. You can work remotely. You don't need to live in the Imperial Core and pay Imperial Core prices to get an Imperial Core salary. All you need is a computer, the internet, and the right documents. Especially with the increase in work-from-home opportunities as a result of COVID, more and more Americans are deciding to look exclusively for opportunities where they can work from home and then change where that home is so they can afford to live. As for the retirees, well, they already made their money. But then inflation came and took away the little bit of acquisitive power they thought they would have in their golden years. People who dreamed for decades of buying a little house in the country get to that point and discover that they don't have enough for a shack. But then they hear about San Miguel de Allende, or Chapala, or Ajijic, or any of another dozen gringo enclaves, and say, ooh, maybe I could get something there. There's realtors who speak English, and they're happy to help them convert their dollars into pesos. So here's what the retirees and the digital nomads just don't seem to understand. That this action, bringing your dollars to Mexico, is not a benevolent one. You are not helping the economy, you are helping yourself. Your own country's economy and markets do not exist to help working or retired people. They exist to exploit those people. So, in seeking refuge from that exploitation, you come to Mexico and decide to start a new life here. Now, back home, what do we call the exploited people who cross our borders looking for better economic opportunities? We certainly don't call them digital nomads or expats or any of the other cringeworthy names that Americans only call themselves. Those people are immigrants, and you and I here in Mexico, we are immigrants. When you go to get your documents, which I hope you will do and not just be illegal here forever, you're not going to go to the Expat Institute. You're going to go to the Instituto Nacional de Migración. It's right there in the name. No matter where you're from in the US, you've met immigrants. You might even be the child of immigrants. My great-grandparents came to the US at the beginning of the 20th century. They were fleeing from the pogroms in Europe and had heard about the streets paved with gold in New York. Of course, the streets at that time didn't have any gold.